You're watching Access Minnesota. Here's Jim Dubois.
Back now to Access Minnesota's conversation with former University of Minnesota President Bob Bruininks. You've been at the university for more than 40 years. What is different about the university experience for students today compared when you arrived on campus back in 1968?
Well, I think it's infinitely better than the experience that students had in the late 60s and even the decade of the 70s and much of the 80s. Niels Asimo, one of the former presidents of the university, felt that we needed to do some hard work to improve undergraduate education. Mark Udoff shared that passion, and I certainly did. So one of the things you will hear if you show up at East Cliff and you listen to the graduates of the University of Minnesota, their parents and grandparents, many of whom have University of Minnesota degrees, they will all tell you what a fabulous experience it's been. The quality of education has been first rate. The quality of service is much better than it used to be. So all that, this total education experience that we provide undergraduates and our graduate and professional students now today, I think is much, much better than it used to be. We really pay attention to teaching now, and it's a part of our reward system, our evaluation system for tenure. We really celebrate great teaching with the Academy of Distinguished Teachers that Mark Udoff established, and with the annual teaching awards that we provide, along with a salary increase to our very best teachers. So that's one of the things I would say has really changed. The second thing that's really changed is people work more effectively across departmental, collegiate, and disciplinary boundaries than ever before. And the big issues, whether you're talking about issues of peace, human health, education, economic development, issues of the environment, all of these big issues require that people work together across different fields. We've really made some major strides in advancing interdisciplinary work here, and that's another thing that I think we can be really proud of. Most of the significant growth in competitive grants and contracts, that accelerated growth that I talked about earlier, came about as a result of people working together across boundaries. We are the leader in the world now around issues of global food safety. And so much of our food comes from all over the world right now. And many breakdowns in the food supply create very significant human disease and threats to human health. And so having that leadership centered here in a place that is known for agriculture and agricultural research, research in the biomedical sciences, nutrition, and all the other fields that are really important is really a signature aspect now of the University of Minnesota. So this is a very vibrant, highly productive place, a place that really values service. And I'd have to say, if you walk on our campuses today, you just feel good because they look great. We're taking care of them. We've been talking about that through successive administrations. And there's a sense of pride about the University of Minnesota that I think was not as strong when I started in my career. There's a pride in the university as a great academic institution, but there's also a pride that we feel in the work of one another, and a sense of pride that we have in our own environment. And when parents and students come to this campus now, they feel it. And even if they decide to go someplace else, they will tell me the visit here was among the most inspirational they experienced on their college tour. So I think all of that's really changed, and we need to keep that sense of pride up, and we need the citizens of this state to share more deeply in the pride that we all feel about the importance of the University of Minnesota and its long-term importance to the economy of our state and our quality of life.
You may be stepping down as president of the university at the end of June, but you're not leaving the university. You're going back into the classroom, and you'll be teaching at the Humphrey Institute. What are you most looking forward to when you go back to teaching?
Well, one of the things I'm looking forward to is that I get up every morning and I check with the committee to see how I'm supposed to spend my time. And I'm looking forward to being able to set my own schedule and more of my own priorities. I'm looking forward to spending more time with family. 4 grandchildren that are on the West Coast. I don't see them enough, or their parents. So I'm looking forward to really pursuing some ideas that I really feel very passionately about. Many of them we've talked about in this interview. So I've always loved working with students. I've always loved teaching. I've always loved research and writing and exploring ideas. And I just want more time in the latter stages of my life and career to pursue some issues and some problems in our society that really give me great passion and really represent areas where I think I can make a difference. And you can't stay in these jobs too long. If you stay too long, I think you get a little stale. It's healthy for a university like this to have some rotation of leadership every few years. I served at double the national average. That's a pretty good run. I feel very good about our accomplishments and the condition of the university as I pass the baton to Dr. Kaler. So I feel really good about this period of my career. It's been 14 years in the two top jobs at the University of Minnesota. And I think in those 14 years that I served with President Yudof and served as president on my own here, that we've really moved this university forward. And I'm deeply proud as I leave office, not only in what we've accomplished, but I have a real sense of confidence that we've set the university on a very promising course for the future.
What do you think your legacy will be as University of Minnesota president?
Well, it's difficult to say. I think it's somewhat pretentious to talk about your legacy, but I do want people to respect the very important advances we've made to improve the academic quality of the University of Minnesota. We've set really high standards for ourselves. We told the citizens of this state that we were a great American university and we wanted to get better. That, to me, raising that sort of aspirational view of the university's future, I think has been one of those legacy issues that I hope will stick, and I'm quite confident it will. But as I look back, I really take the greatest pride in the fact that we have improved all aspects of our mission. The education that we provide students is significantly better than when I started. We are a much stronger research university today than we were when I started. We are much more connected to the broader community, the business community, the cultural communities of Minnesota, the civic leaders of Minnesota. I think that's a really important thing. And I would say we're also very strongly connected to public issues. This is a place with a soul, a heart, a place where people come to work every day, try to discover new things, try to provide the best education in the world, and in the process try to connect it to public purposes and the public good. Above all, I think we've tried to do that in a way that respects the use of resources, and we've tried, I think, to weather these ups and downs, these difficulties in our economy, 2 recessions in 9 years. We tried to weather those in a way that protected the university's academic quality and future. So I think we've been productive, we've been creative, we've been accountable, but mostly we've moved the dial academically, and I think that's what really matters.
University of Minnesota President Bob Bruininks, thank you so much for your service to the university, and thanks for joining us again on Access Minnesota.
Thank you, Jim. It's been a great pleasure.
That's all for this month's edition of Access Minnesota. Join us again next month. Thanks for watching.
Access Minnesota. Issues that matter to you. Join us again next week as we bring you the newsmakers and stories that shape our everyday lives. Access Minnesota is produced by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association in cooperation with the University of Minnesota's College of Liberal Arts.